The effects of violent music content on teens. Throughout history, the human populace has been attracted to music, whether it be part of a ritual, an emotional release, religious reasons, or just for listening pleasure. Music has been at the center of our society. We have used music to express ourselves, tell stories, and let others into our thoughts. However, we often wonder what are we saying as an effect on the listening audience. Recently, in the 1990s, reference have often been made to link violent and deviant behavior to music and certain music genres. Some music genres include, but are not limited to, heavy metal, rock, death metal, rap, gangster rap, industrial, hardcore, and alternative music. During the last decade, we have seen music lyrics become more and more violent and sexually explicit. Experts argue that this can cause problems in children and adolescents. Studies show that the average teenager listens to approximately 40 hours of music in a given week. One is to assume that somewhere in the mix, a child is going to hear something derogatory or objectionable, as it has become the norm in today's society. In most music today, especially rap and heavy metal, most of the lyrics contain references to violence, sex, and or drugs. While many argue that this is dangerous for children to hear, we know that a modern-day teenager often faces violence, drugs, suicide, pregnancy, and other aspects of this music. While we find the lyrics may be dangerous to children, we must ask ourselves whether the child fully understands and comprehends what the artist is saying. Teenagers often do not understand what is being said. In fact, in one study, only 30% of those questioned knew the lyrics of their favorite song, and they all had varied comprehension as to what the message was. It could be argued that if the lyrics were not included in the artist's booklet, then the audience would never know what was being said. Some lyrics are indeed harsh, such as the Nine Inch Nails lyrics, "I am a big man, yes I am, and I have a big gun. Got me a big old censored, and I like to have fun. Held against your forehead, I'll make you suck, just for the blank of it." Obviously, we cannot interpret this as a positive meaning. A sampling of lyrics from Marilyn Manson's include, Who says date rape isn't fun? The housewife I will beat. I will slip my teenage wrists, among others. Manson concerts are often grounds to bash religion and rip Bibles where fans chant, we love hate, other songs that have overtones of violence. Avid music lovers attest that the words sung in these songs are just words and are no different than poetry printed in literature books. No studies to date have concluded that listening to a song that speaks of death will make teenagers want to go out and kill. Do these kind of lyrics breed today's children to be killers or to be sexually promiscuous? Yes and no, depending on who you speak to. Listening to music does not drive people to kill, and no proof of such has been offered. In fact, one teacher speaks of a student who wore a Metallica t-shirt every day to school and wrote lyrics with foul language, but was often seen sitting in the front row at Sunday Mass with his mother in a nice suit. The same people who go out to see Black Sabbath and Motley Crue are the same people who handle world finance and international affairs. It is their choice in music. Studies that use music videos, on the other hand, show an increased tolerance to and deviant behavior among both males and females. Music videos and add reinforcement to what is being heard with the use of visuals. Now, an extra sense is being used. Videos often exhibit sexual innuendos, acts of aggression, and gender stereotypes. Studies show that men have a tolerable attitude as to what is violent and what is too far in sexual advances. Women have less of a tolerance. Studies have found that heavy metal music and gangster rap influence men's attitude toward women, and that increased exposure to video containing interpersonal violence against women tend to increase men's acceptance of rape myths, such as she was dressed like she wanted it or she brought it on herself. In fact, women's belief decreased, and they felt that men were coming on too strong and being too aggressive. Another study conducted on college campuses in the northwestern United States involved men and women watching various music videos and then answering a set of questions afterwards. One video that was The Way You Make Me Feel by Michael Jackson, which depicts a man stalking a woman who then becomes infatuated in his game of pursuit. The other was the study Stan by REM, which only showed the band on stage playing instruments. In question answered after the video, men said it was necessary to pursue the woman to such an extent while women thought it was annoying and disturbing. Men scored higher on attitudes for sexual overtones, while surprisingly, women scored slightly higher on an acceptance of interpersonal violence. The study did conclude that women who were often subjected to violent music were more accepting of violence than those who have not had constant viewing or listening to such lyrics and images. It also showed that women had a greater acceptance of sexual stereotyping and rape myths after being subjected to the videos. Many methods of behavior modification have been suggested in order to keep the music from causing harm or hurting individuals. Many arguments can be made as to whether the music should be censored or if it is unconstitutional to do so. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends different types of behavior modifications to combat the harmful effects of this music. One such idea is as simple as having parents be aware as to what their children are listening to and discuss anything they deem objectionable. This would be a positive way to relate emotions to the songs. Another idea proposed is labeling of content on compact disc. It will be labeled outside as to what the lyrics contain, i.e., language, sex, drugs. It also has been suggested that groups as well as individuals approach record companies, music studios, and artists and ask them to consider the ramifications of their music on their audience and market it accordingly and in a favorable manner. Ideas have been proposed to set up research studies to further investigate the effects of explicit music on the behavior of teenagers. One of the most effective ideas proposed is as simple as people accept that this music is an art form and a means of self-expression and emotional release and treat it as such. Just as with rock and roll and Elvis Presley, people will always find something wrong with the music that others listen to.